Hello and welcome to Last Mixtape. My name's Stephen White, and on this week's show, we delve into why fascists can't dance and the insidious creep of censorship. But first,
I mean, you're not really serious if you're saying we're going toward a fascist theocracy.
That's right, we are. Wait a minute.
In what way? Wait, give me one example.
Wait. One example of a fascist theocracy. When you have a government that prefers a certain moral code derived from a certain religion, and that moral code turns into legislation to suit one certain religious point of view, and if that code happens to be very, very right-wing, almost toward Attila the Hun.
not my words, but the words of Frank Zappa. Why, dear listener, and indeed, dear viewer, were we just listening to Frank Zappa speak on fascist theocracy at the beginning of this week's show? Well, this week, I thought we'd delve into why fascists keep trying to hijack music and culture and twist it into their own means, and why they will always fail. Because fascists can't dance. Fascists can't create. They can only silence, steal, or twist what's alive into something hollow and dead. And nowhere is that clearer than in music. Because music is everything they fear, messy, imperfect, unpredictable. It thrives on accidents, contradictions, and the offbeat. It needs risk, failure, and friction to survive. Fascism can't stomach that. It demands certainty and obedience. And art dies under those conditions. That's why, time and time again, regimes go after music first. From Nazi Germany banning jazz as degenerate, to Franco outlawing Catalonian and Basque songs, to Pol Pot executing Cambodia's rock musicians, to Ireland's own Catholic Church blacklisting artists and performers, different flags, same instinct, choke the soundtrack, choke the people. In America, it was the heartbeat of the civil rights movement. Gospel choirs and marches, Sam Cooke's A Change Is Gonna Come, Nina Simone spitting fire with Mississippi Goddamn. These were the oxygen of a movement, which is why the state tried to cut it off. Radio bans, police raids, politicians calling them dangerous. And queer spaces, always the canary in the coal mine. In Weimar, Berlin, cabaret was decadent, defiantly queer. Nazis raided bars and executed drag performers. 40 years later, in New York, disco and house rose from queer clubs, sanctuaries of bass and glitter where outsiders could breathe again. But again came the raids and the mockery, the disco demolition night, eerily reminiscent of Nazi burning of books. Joy is dangerous, expression is dangerous, difference is dangerous. That's why fascists tried to kill it. And we're seeing it play out again today. Artists speaking for Palestine, using their stage to call out occupation and genocide, are being pulled from lineups, censored on air, smeared as dangerous. In Britain, in America, in Europe, the message is the same. Don't give artists the stage, don't give them the voice, don't give the people the truth. But like every movement before it, music cannot be put on mute. From punk bands to rappers, bedroom producers to global stars, voices keep rising against the silence demanded by power. So, when they can't silence, they steal. Fascists scavenge. They leech of what's alive and try to twist it into something dead. Take Britain in the 1970s. Punk exploded, chaotic, multicultural, impossible to control. The far right latched onto it with one band, Screwdriver, and tried to turn that music and that movement into the soundtrack of the National Front. But punk spat them right back out. Rock Against Racism filled halls with The Clash, Steel Pulse, X-Ray Specs, crowds that looked like the streets, noisy, mixed, alive. Screwdriver were a parasite. And it happens here too. The so-called Míse Éire Festival promised tradition, heritage and music, but behind the Cayley tunes and green, white and gold branding were far-right organisers, pushing anti-immigration politics under the guise of culture and a distorted image of what Ireland was and what Ireland is. The response was immediate. Fontaine's DC, Christy Moore, Kneecap, the Mary Wallifers, hundreds of artists signed an open letter. The venue pulled out, the mask slipped. People saw it for what it was, not celebration, but theft. Theft of cultural identity and theft of modern society. That's the pattern, from Screwdriver to half-baked far-right festivals in Ireland. Fascism never creates, it only copies. It strips music of context, hollows it out, and embalms it like a corpse. But people and music always slip the chains. Because music, art and culture is a lived experience. Not some ultra-nationalist ideal of what it means to be Irish, but the truth. Fascists can hijack a chorus, they can steal a cymbal, they can march in time to someone else's tune, but they will never write music themselves. They will never truly dance. And why, dear listener, is this important now? Well, because of woke! Because of the woke mob. Well, why this is all relevant today is because it is happening now. Nationalism, fascism, authoritarianism has not gone away in recent decades. It has only grown, and the internet has only shined a brighter light upon it. But it was always in the undergrowth. Recently, I was walking back from the recording of one of these shows and I came upon a group of people wrapped in Irish flags, with Irish flags waving and everything like that, on their way down the quays towards an anti-immigration protest on O'Connell Street here in Dublin. And these were people from the anti-immigration far right, very much aligned with authoritarianism, very much aligned with the politics and the ideology thereof of fascism itself. And it was an interesting thing to see them wrapped in that flag that we both share, and that a lot of people on this island share, and they're co-opting of it. It made me think of all the people that have commented on these types of videos, and I don't want to turn into one of those creators or YouTubers like arguing with people in the comments or straw-manning people in a way, but you see it a lot of the time. It'll be on X or on Instagram or all these things where people like with Irish flags in their profile, or Michael Collins or Project Pierce. If you're from the UK, from France, if you're from America, you probably have an alternative national hero or use of national flag, and them saying the most anti-immigration, the most far right, the most vile, the most twisted things, and how they take culture. As we were talking about Nazism, we were talking about Mussolini, you talk about Franco. One of the first things through, obviously, in Nazism with Goebbels and people like that, propaganda and the use of history and the use of culture and the use of stories and the use of music, or the oppression thereof, was a way to control, a conformity to one ideal, a conformity to a nationalist identity that for them stops and begins in a certain place that never truly existed. This rise in nationalism or ultra-nationalism in Ireland is one to be worried about. As you were talking about there, the Míse Éire Festival that was moved, and it was cancelled in one venue and moved on to another because of the petition by Irish artists, which is a completely legitimate thing to do. You can petition in a democracy against something. It's up to the event owner or the event organiser or the venue themselves to decide on what to do with that petition. They can ignore it, they can do what they want. It's been moved now, I believe, to Mayo. These kind of things, this kind of like a festival for far-right ideology, a festival where no doubt the Irish identity will be contorted to be this kind of Ireland for the Irish type thing, a kind of a variation. I do believe even some of these arseholes use MAGA, or Make Ireland Great Again, this kind of idea that they have some ownership of, or they have some idea of what Ireland is, that Irish immigrants, people in this country who have provided, who have participated in Irish culture, who are participating in Irish culture, in Irish politics, in Irish life, have no place here. And here's the thing. This is what you're going to see with these fascist type, with these ultra-nationalists, with these kind of groups and gangs, is that they will use the comments and they will talk about how they can't see any nationalists or authoritarian or fascists or any kind of ideology like that in the countries that they live in, or if it's in Ireland or anywhere like that. I don't see. Where is it all happening? I can't see any rise of fascism. Where is the fascism? Show me it. I can't see it. Somebody explain to me what fascism is, because I don't understand it. This fucking bollocks. The reason why you can't see, or you don't understand why there's a fascism or there is ultra-nationalism in Ireland or any country like that, is because you're in it. It is the same reason you can't see the Eiffel Tower when you're standing on fucking top of it, because you are fucking in it, my friend. That is fucking why. These people, as I say, are unimaginative, uncreative, uncurious, fearful people who have run to the arms of dear leader, whomever that is, whatever group that is, for something, for some sort of identity, for some sort of a certainty, for all the plug-and-play borrowed politics that they use and borrowed comments that they use in all the fucking things that they say. It's because of the woke mob, or the woke guy. You don't even fucking know what woke means, and you fucking use it for fucking everything. You copy and paste the same comments over and over and over again. You fucking use like, oh, what's a woman? All the kinds of like, oh, I have legitimate concerns about the border. It's just such legitimate. About what fucking border are you fucking talking about? People come from fucking Belfast. Is that fucking it? People come from Derry. You're fucking worried about the fucking Irish fucking border between Northern Ireland and Republic Ireland. No, you're not, because you're not even fucking smart enough to take the borrowed politics you've taken from America and the borrowed authoritarianism, fascism you've taken from over there and fucking apply it to Ireland without fucking taking out the fucking names and references properly. You see it with these fucking marches where people have Trump flags in Ireland where he can't be president. Or the people who didn't understand that Conor McGregor when he couldn't be president of Ireland, or even what a president in Ireland fucking does. These people borrow everything, and they borrow music, they borrow culture, because they are incurious, they're incapable of creating, incapable of thinking for themselves. That's why they lean on fascism. That's why they push themselves to fascism. Any sort of difference, any sort of expression, individuality, all of those things make them afraid because they cannot create it themselves. It is a fear response. That doesn't excuse it, but it is a fear response. And these people will continue to do so because they have nothing else. And no one else will listen to them. So this borrowed idea of what they think Irishness is, without actually being a part of it, whilst other people from immigrant communities in Ireland, from communities that are different to ours, and different to mine and my experience growing up in Ireland, how they contribute to Ireland, to our culture, to our art, to our community, to our politics, to everything about ourselves, is far greater than what they commit and to what they contribute, because all they contribute is borrowed, stolen ideas that are built through fear. That is a dangerous thing, and we live in a dangerous time because these people are pervasive because they've got nothing else. There isn't anything else. It is a singular message because it is a message they all speak from, because they are not individuals. That is the dangerous thing about censorship. That is the dangerous thing about letting governments get involved. This very week, McHara will go to court in the UK for things he said on stage. People like Bob Vylan have also been investigated. I think Kneecap themselves have also been banned from performing in Canada. Artists are being banned. Why is that? Where have we seen that before? Expression is being banned. If dear leader or dear leaders don't like what you're saying and don't like what you're doing, they will decide. That is letting a wolf through the fucking door. That is letting some people like that, people like these authoritarian types as well, control what is said and what is expressed, and they will do it in the old Roman way, in Julius Caesar's way of, I will relinquish power once Rome is free of all its enemies. I will stop doing what I'm doing it only for your good, only for you. I'm just trying to keep you safe and everyone safe, when all they are trying to do is control. So, why can't fascists write music? Because music lives in chaos. It thrives in tension, in improvisation, in voices that refuse to be contained. It doesn't follow rules, it doesn't salute, it doesn't march in lockstep. Fascists need obedience. Music needs the messy, the unpredictable, the alive. Every time they try to steal it, a symbol, a style, a song, music reclaims itself. It multiplies, it escapes, it evolves. Punk didn't die when Screwdriver tried to claim it. Jazz didn't vanish under the Nazi boot. Disco didn't disappear when police raided queer clubs. Black music survived and transformed, shaping generations. Queer music and dance spaces survived, pulsing louder in basements, clubs, warehouses, living rooms, and now online spaces. Every beat becomes a refusal to obey. And here's the beautiful irony. The more they try to crush it, the louder it gets. Every banned song, every raided club, every threatened space of expansion, every act taken off a lineup of a festival only draws more ears to that act and to their voice. Music finds a way to survive under oppression. Sometimes it thrives stronger than before. It bursts out of basements into streets, from small studios into stadiums, from underground radio to playlists of millions. The sound of life, refusing to silence, is unstoppable. Music is not just entertainment, it is identity, it is resistance, it is memory, history, joy, pain. Every time it is threatened, it reminds us creativity cannot be imprisoned. Culture cannot be owned. Freedom cannot be legislated. Art will always outlast authoritarianism because it is alive, because it refuses to obey, because it belongs to everyone. You, me, anyone watching this show, anybody listening. It is ours and it is no one's to gatekeep and no one's to deny and no one's to dictate. I'm not naive. I understand what is happening in the world now and that music is not the only way or the only act of resistance. But it is a voice, it is communication, it is expression. If that voice is quelled, if that voice is put down to where we can no longer hear it, then the people will no longer be heard. All of us. And so we must keep playing, we must keep dancing, we must keep singing. Not to spite them, not even to teach them a lesson, but because music is life itself and a refusal of fear. And that refusal, that beautiful, messy, imperfect refusal, is something fascists can't write, never own, never legislate against, and they can never dance to it.
Does the government have any purpose, Frank?
Yeah, it has a number of purposes. I'm not going to give you a civics lesson here, but I'll tell you one thing. We must not see eye to eye on the idea of a government that must forbid things in order to protect
What is the government's role? You've told me several times
How about national defense?
Yeah, I consider this national defense, pal. Our families are under attack from people like you with these lyrics.
John, you don't have to buy them.
Mr. Zappa, could I make a statement about national defense?
Yeah.
The biggest threat to America today is not communism. It's moving America toward a fascist theocracy. And everything that's happened during the Reagan administration is steering us right down that pipe.